Hello, everyone. I'm Librarian Catherine, and I am so excited to be here for episode 3 of Our Nature Stories. Our Nature Journal started with Librarian Jen, made its way to Librarian Grace. Now, today, I received a very special package in the mail. Our journal. It was shipped all the way from Librarian Grace's house to me, and now I am gonna get to add something special to our very fun traveling journal. Let's open it and see what's inside. All right. Here it is. And if you guys tuned in to episodes 1 and 2, you got to see the beautiful things Librarian Jen and Grace created in Our Nature Stories journal. Jen talked about all things red and things that she discovered all around her yard and neighborhood. And Librarian Grace took on Jen's challenge and found all types of surprises in her backyard. And what, to me, was so special about Librarian Grace's contribution is not only the beautiful flowers and foliage that she added, but also this wonderful threaded paper art that she made with the dried flowers. So incredibly special. Now let's see what Grace challenged me to do. And I'm excited to dive in. Let's take a look. My challenge to you: weeds are really just wildflowers, and many are just as beautiful as other cultivated plants. On your nature walk, count the different types of weeds, then make a collection and press the leaves and flowers. Have fun! You can also take it in any direction you'd like. Write a new challenge and pass the journal on. Happy nature journaling! Your friend Grace. Well, Grace, challenge accepted. I'm looking forward to going on a walk around my property and neighborhood to see how weeds and maybe found or forgotten plants inspire me and what I share with you. All right, first things first, I'm gonna go for my walk and I'll be back with a plan and some beautiful creation time. I'll see you soon. All right, friends, I am ready to begin. I have this blank canvas that I am going to create my nature journal entry. I feel that I learn from all that is around me, and you might see that I was inspired by both Librarian Grace's and Librarian Jen's entries as I do my own. And I think one of the greatest gifts of compliment we can give our friends and fellow artists is an homage in our own art. And I am less of an artist. I am not a painter. I do a lot of crafting, but you won't find me painting or drawing all that much. But I will be working with paper art, and I will be creating a little beauty of my own. And what I love about the journal that we are creating is it is incredibly individual, and we get to create our own magic each time we open the cover. So I want to encourage you to do the same thing and know that we are all artists when we sit down to create. All right, let's dive in. A couple days have passed since my nature walk, and I have dried and pressed several flowers and plants that I found. I pressed using heavy books and a flower press that I borrowed from Librarian Daniel. I found there is so much beauty in even something that someone might call a weed. To me, I've come to see that weeds are very resilient plants, and they grow in places other plants could not. And I think, especially during this time, we are all being incredibly resilient in many ways. I look forward to journaling about these plants that I found. Here are the materials I will be working with. I am going to take a rather simple approach to my journal entry, and I will be making a construction paper ladybug to illustrate a ladybug that I saw on my walk. And of course, I will use some googly eyes because I find them fun. Most of my other materials, scissors, tape, glue, and a simple ballpoint pen mixed with some rough cut paper, are going to help illustrate the plants I saw on my walk and then later dried. All right, let's get started. I would like to start with making our googly eye ladybug. So what we need to do that, I'm just gonna go ahead. All right, let's get started. I would like to start with making our googly eye ladybug. So what we need to do that, I'm just gonna go ahead. All right, to start, we're gonna make our ladybug. And to do that, we're gonna first, and I'm gonna just freehand 2 circles, one large black circle and one small black circle, one for the body of the ladybug and one for the head. And then we're going to just cut them out. And then we will use the large black circle as a template to make our wings, which are just going to be 2 half circles in red. Just going to trim that. So there we have our body. And then the second one, the smaller circle, and it certainly doesn't have to be a perfect circle. I feel like all ladybugs are unique. All right, so there we have our ladybug head. And we'll just take this black circle. I'm just gonna trace around it. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can see that my circle is far from perfect, and that is just fine. So I'm just going to cut this one out. All right. So then this is going to be used for the wings, and in order to do that, we're just going to find what's about halfway and trim it right in half. And what does a ladybug have on its wings? They have black polka dots. So I'm actually just going to use my ballpoint pen that I was using to write my journal entry, and I'm just going to make some polka dots on the wings here. And again, I'm not taking extra special care that my polka dots are perfect circles. I feel like there's a lot of interesting and unique shapes in nature, and most of them are not perfect, and that's what makes them so special. So we'll just make the last couple of dots. Let's just put one more for good measure down there. All right, now to make our ladybug, we're gonna need our small circle. We're gonna put some glue on that small circle. And then I have just fit it right on top so the head pokes out above the circle. And then for the wings, and then I would flip that circle over so it looks like this. So the crease of the top circle will be on the bottom. And then we're going to take our wings and they're going to end up like this. So we're going to also put some glue on the top, press the corner right on to that crease, and same thing with the second one. We're just going to find that corner, just going to right where they meet, then we're going to press it down. And now our ladybug, let's close up our glue so it doesn't dry out, is ready for its eyes. And I have lots and lots of googly eyes here. They have self-adhesive backs, which makes them easy to stick. I am going to choose these small black eyes, but there are so many other options in this box, and if you don't have googly eyes, you can just draw your eyes on, and that would be just as awesome. All right, so I am going to remove the sticky back from my eye and just plop it right down. And I'm going to do that again with the second one. Going to just take the sticky back off. Perfect. And then I'm just going to plop it right there. And now this ladybug is ready to be glued into our journal. What do we think? I'm pretty happy with the ladybug. I think it reminds me of when I saw all the ladybugs on the walk, which is super exciting. All right, now I'm ready to start gluing everything down. And you'll notice that my design is rather simplistic. I don't have a lot of drawing. I'm just using ballpoint pen and just a couple of highlighter accents to make things pop. But I took a rather simplistic approach to let the flowers and other nature I found really speak for themselves. And one thing that I would like to share with you, and something that really came up for me during this process, is I was connected back to all of the beautiful things that I've ever seen and all the inspiration I get from being around and seeing other creative people and their work. And I would like to first thank Librarian Jen and Grace for inspiring me. Their journal entries were so special and inspired me to create something hopefully unique and something that means something to you. It definitely means something to me. And it made me slow down and really appreciate the world around me, which I think we all have a little bit more time to really invite that quiet and that stillness in. I know I do, and it is such a gift. And one thing that it reminded me of, especially as I was looking at my flowers, is one of my favorite artists, and I know it's actually Librarian Grace's favorite artist too, is Georgia O'Keeffe. And that made me look up some of the things she's said about painting, specifically flowers. And I love how all art is connected, and I am a big fan of words and writing and how we think about what we do and how we create. So I'm going to share with you a quote by Georgia O'Keeffe that was equally inspiring to me and gave me a little bit of space to really think about why I appreciate art the way that I do, and nature too. All right, when you take a flower in your hand and really look at it, it's your world for a moment. I want to give that world to someone else. Most people in the city rush around. They have no time to look at a flower. I want them to see it, whether they want to or not. And that was Georgia O'Keeffe talking about flowers, and specifically how she paints flowers. And for those of you that know her work, you know how beautiful and vibrant and incredibly just awe-inspiring her paintings are. And I feel like with our nature journaling, with giving ourselves permission to take a little bit of extra time outside, we can invite some of that greatness into our own lives and into our creativity. So I want to just encourage you to do that. Just take a little bit of extra time with that flower and see it so you can truly appreciate the beauty that it brings into our lives, because it's very special, at least to me. All right, everyone. Here is my nature journal entry, where I get to explore the idea of the weed, wildflowers, and other things that could be cast off beauty. I will say that my favorite part about my journal is probably my ladybug friend here. I really enjoy making paper crafts, so my ladybug friend is inspired by all of the ladybugs I observed on my walk. And I noted how, like weeds and wildflowers, ladybugs are everywhere. I notice them in my backyard. I notice them on the sidewalk and at the park. They really float all around. I also collected this long, twisty vine, a strong vine that wraps around my porch and grows so incredibly fast. That is another quality of what we might call a weed, is they are resilient and they're also super strong and they grow really fast, which is where that saying comes from, grows like a weed. These flowers here are going to be white flowers that I found in my garden that I planted in a mixed bag of wildflower seeds. And the texture, after I dried it, is so delicate, like a piece of silk or a nice thin piece of paper. It's almost transparent. And a neat thing about this one in particular is that as it dried, there are some faint pink marks. Over here on this side, I found some lavender. Lavender is such a strong plant and it has such a beautiful smell. We actually have large lavender bushes right in front of the library, actually. And over time, the lavender buds, as they continue to dry, they'll get brittle and they'll probably fall off, but that's okay, because this journal is going to live with us and grow and change. This is a dandelion. Dandelions, to me, are probably the most recognizable everywhere plant. They are so hardy, they are bright, and they are cheerful. I found this dandelion right in my backyard. Down here, I found 2 purple flowers. This bright fuchsia cosmos was also in the wildflower seed packet that I planted months back. And I was pleasantly surprised that they came out to be this bright shade of purple. Cosmos come in all different colors. I have also included some of my favorite quotes that I found about flowers and nature. Up here, I have The Earth Laughs in Flowers by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Just like the quote I left for Daniel on my front page, I was inspired by another quote of Mr. Emerson's. And down here on the side, wildflowers don't care where they grow. And that's a line out of a Dolly Parton song, which really felt appropriate and spoke to me quite loudly. And then one last quote that I included on my journaling page. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. And that's from Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. And that quote, the quote that I will leave you with, reminded me that even though we call something a weed, doesn't mean it's not beautiful. It doesn't mean it doesn't smell great. It's just what we call it. And that is my journal entry, episode 3 for our nature journal. Thank you so much for following along. All of these things are totally recreatable at home, and you can use as little or as many artistic flourishes as you want. This shows a very simplistic approach to the nature journal and really puts front and center the idea that beauty is everywhere and in all things. So I hope that you are as inspired as I am, and I hope you stay tuned for episode 4 when we see what Librarian Daniel comes up with. Thank you for following along, and I look forward to seeing you soon.